But that's just sent straight from Philly. Philly MC said they want that smoke, so we're gonna see what y'all got. Meek Mill, you know, you ain't got nothing but air and opportunity to show them how it's done.
I'm at a point in my life, like, we all grew up in the streets, and we try to be better, but they labeled us felons, sent us back to jail. I had to fight against that the whole time.
Where would you be right now if you were just Meek Mill, who nobody knew, if you didn't have all these powerful people who raised your case up and made people?
I would be in prison.
Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, Daddy. You putting in that work. Proud of you. I love you.
Meek Mill's got to deal with what he got to deal with based on the relationship him and Puff had.
What if everything you thought you knew about hip-hop's biggest success stories was actually a carefully planned lie? What if the parties, the mentorships, and the big breaks were all part of something much darker? Tonight, you'll see Meek Mill's journey from the tough streets of Philadelphia to becoming one of Diddy's most broken victims. Through his tears, fear, and confessions, a horrifying truth comes to light. The parties weren't for networking, they were hunting grounds. The mentorship wasn't guidance, it was manipulation. And those success stories you once admired, they were actually the slow destruction of young black men's souls. You're about to see what really happens when talent meets greed. But first, you need to understand how the trap was set, because what looked like industry networking was really a system built for control.
When you that powerful, you didn't get that powerful without having one or two or maybe three ups on somebody. Diddy always been the type of individual that wanted to have ups on the next person no matter what they was doing. Like, he always played artists against each other. He did it to Big, he did it to Craig Mack. You understand? I said before, he did the stuff to Ja Rule. You know what I'm saying? So had the ups on Ja Rule so he could go after Jay-Z. You understand what I'm saying? So he always played those kind of up games on people. So to have those cameras and know what he was doing, it's gonna give him the ups on everybody who came to that party. Even your favorite basketball player. Ain't no party like a Diddy party. We know who said that. He may be one of the person who got caught up in the Diddy party.
Listen closely to what's being revealed. Diddy didn't throw parties just for fun. He recorded everything. Every celebrity, every encounter, every compromising moment was captured for future leverage. Some say even LeBron James might be among them. This isn't gossip or rumor. It was a calculated operation built to control the most powerful people in entertainment. Every guest became a possible asset. Every moment could be turned into blackmail material. The biggest names in sports and music were reduced to puppets, controlled by secrets.
I will tell you, if you just pay attention to the testimony, there were videos on an iPad that the employees had access to, right? And you can't tell me, anyone who's watching this, they've been anywhere and something was going down and somebody said, hey man, give me a copy of that, right? I mean, we can go back to the R. Kelly tape. That was VHS. You know how hard it is to make a copy of a VHS? And it was probably 30 or 40 of them tapes in every neighborhood, right? Now we talking about digital. Now we talking about, hey man, airdrop me that video, right? Hey,
spread like wildfire.
Exactly, because I am pretty sure either through the dark web or through one-sided consent of some sort, it's going to be released.
Here's the legal truth you need to understand. Lawyers are now coming forward, claiming that evidence of secret recordings within the entertainment world exists, and that it may one day be made public. This is no longer about rumors or online speculation. It's about documented proof that private moments were captured and stored for control. Think about what that means. Years of parties, private meetings, and hidden recordings, all involving some of the biggest names in entertainment, sitting somewhere waiting to surface. Every person who took part in those events now faces the fear that their most personal moments could be exposed. This is how modern control operates in Hollywood. It doesn't rely on physical chains, but psychological ones, using recorded shame and fear to keep people silent. It creates a system where power comes not from talent, but from manipulation. To understand how individuals can be broken down and controlled by such systems, you have to look deeper into the psychological methods used to destroy confidence, identity, and independence, especially among young, ambitious artists.
What is it with all the man-on-man action that I'm learning about? I mean, like with the puffy parties, like the last thing I ever thought that went on there was gay stuff. Not that gay stuff was wrong, it's wonderful. I just did not think that's what Puffy was doing.
Yeah, well, I didn't think it either. And even when my assistant said that stuff, I still was like joking it off. And it wasn't until later on that I heard other things from people that worked from him. You know, you remember that back in the times of slavery, they had a thing called breaking the buck. That people in the industry are still making young rappers who have fought the worst of circumstances, being disenfranchised, being discounted, and then they finally like, I'm gonna put it into music. I'm gonna do it in the music. I'm gonna, and get myself together. And they go and see someone, and they tell them, okay, yeah, you can have a deal.
Breaking the buck. Let that phrase sink in for a moment. It's not used by accident. It's a reference to a system of control that echoes some of the darkest parts of history, now repackaged for modern Hollywood. Young, talented people are often stripped of their confidence, independence, and sense of self through psychological and emotional manipulation. This isn't initiation or hazing. It's trauma used as a weapon, a way to break a person's spirit so they remain dependent on those in power. Every stage of this process is designed to remind the victim who's in control. The goal isn't just obedience, it's permanent submission, built on fear, shame, and the memory of what was taken from them.
Rappers, they're all so tough until you hear their real name.
Yeah, or until you see them at a puffy party.
Oh.
Then they're not tough no more. I'm surprised that the rap game is still alive because the masculinity that the rappers are supposed to portray. Oh.
Terrence Howard makes the connection clear. The artists who appear the toughest in their music are often the most broken behind the scenes. The louder they project strength, the more pain they may be hiding. Their public image becomes a kind of armor, a way to protect themselves from the shame and trauma they've experienced in private.
When you saw this lawsuit that made it seem as if perhaps Diddy and Meek Mill has...
I mean, to each their own, and why would they not have when they're gay rappers?
They.
Do you think Meek Mill's gay?
We all know he's gay.
Who's we?
Rick Ross knows he's gay.
I didn't know. It's news to me.
Everybody, Rick Ross knows.
You think Rick Ross would sign a gay rapper?
Rick Ross knows he's gay.
Orlando Brown takes the conversation even further, pointing to how some of hip-hop's most dominant figures may themselves be victims of a larger system. He doesn't frame it as a matter of personal choice or preference. He describes it as a deliberate method of psychological control, a structure built to manipulate, humiliate, and ultimately break the very artists it claims to empower.
You call him Gusher?
I said Usher is a gusher. That's what I said. I said Usher is a gusher. It was nice.
I don't even want to know why you say
his whole thing is accusing everybody of being on some mystery Illuminati gay right?
So what? They shouldn't have showed me their cooch.
The term gusher isn't just a wordplay. It symbolizes the physical and emotional damage caused by exploitation within the industry. Orlando's statements point to a disturbing system built on humiliation and control. It's a process of breaking down powerful public figures, stripping away the very image of strength and invulnerability that made them icons in the first place.
When Diddy got locked up, Meek Mill came out saying that he'll pay somebody $100 grand to investigate that he has nothing to do with anything with Diddy.
Man, look, I can't.
You can't take back what your received. That's just like the video that's coming out with him and Will. With Will Smith getting the Will Smith. You ain't heard the Will Smith footage?
Yeah.
Alright, Will Smith. Then they got the Carl Winslow. Yeah, they got a lot, bro. It's a lot coming out, bro. You know what I'm saying? And let me just keep it to you 1,000.
The truth is no longer hiding in the shadows. It's staring us in the face. What you've heard tonight isn't just about music or fame. It's about control, power, and the price of silence. The question now isn't whether this system exists, but how long we'll let it continue. Stay alert. Stay questioning. Because the only way to break the cycle is to expose it. One story at a time.